Welcome to the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast, where art and wellness collide. Well, hi and welcome back to the Healthy Metal Hippie. Today we are talking about the way that we describe things and the way that we talk to ourselves and how they can look really, really different. In the middle of some of the coaching courses I've been doing, we had a little task about asking 5 friends and getting them to essentially describe little things about you, right? Giving comment on or what's your biggest strength? What do you think you could do that could benefit you? In 3 words, how would you describe me kind of deal? Those kind of things. And so I asked some people and I got some really, really insightful and very moving feedback. And it really helped me reflect a lot about self-talk, for one, about where we place our values and where we, where we focus our time. I had a lot of thoughts about that after, to be honest. And it's really interesting. One of the things I have been thinking about is how there are so many occasions where we will put value on material things before we put it on ourselves as humans, or funny enough, we'll often just happily just save anybody else, but save ourselves last too, which is also another interesting thought. I'm going to have to ask you to bear with me as you listen to this, because truthfully, I have a lot of thoughts in a whole bunch of different areas. But I like these exercises, one, because for me, they make me sit back, and I think being like ADHD and really kind of having trouble with object permanence, and it's not keeping the good thoughts alive, but it's just remembering all of that all the time. I hear these things and I'm like, oh my God, I feel really thankful that I am so valued. And I feel like that sounds really kind of, okay, whatever, girl, to say, but interesting how I hear that. And then I put judgment on that, in almost in a negative way towards myself. But I have to say, I feel so thankful that people have so many really lovely things to say about me. And I think we get disconnected from that thought, right? Where sometimes I sit and I'm going, I'm not doing enough and I should be better. And, I should be, there's so many things I feel I should be, right? But where do these shoulds come from, and who are the shoulds for? Are the shoulds for other people? Are the shoulds for what I actually want and value? And why do I feel so concerned about it? And it's funny because I think we shouldn't be so kind of hung up on that external validation of, am I doing the right thing? Because am I doing the right thing has to come from self. It doesn't have to be, there's those shoulds again. I shouldn't be looking at the external for people to say, yes, that is the thing you should be doing. That is good. Or no, naughty. Because truthfully, it's like, we build the life that works for us and our circumstances and the way that we're wired, and that's kind of that. But it's so weird though, because I do have these moments where I sit there honestly, I'll feel like, oh God, I don't even want to say it. I feel like such a loser, but I think it comes from a desire of just wanting to continue to grow. So it's not really being dissatisfied or anything like that. It's about, I see this forward trajectory. But what I do also notice is that I've been trying to be really thoughtful about my language. And what I notice is that sometimes I describe things in about myself as in quite a negative way. And some of that I think has probably been too many years of conditioning And some of it, maybe, I mean, that's probably most of it, because honestly, it's gotten so much better. But the thing is, I would never, if I'm talking about other people or I'm talking about things around me, there's so much of an outpouring of love given. And there's so much just like positive talk and encouragement. And I find that I still find it difficult to accept praise, accept compliments, maybe it is to accept myself. I've noticed, like, as I move forward, there's so much more positive talk to myself. And it's simple things like simple phrasing that I think we can catch ourselves doing. It's, again, I should do this better. Consider where the should is coming, if it's from true desire or if it's from this thought that you've got this idea that is what is required of you because of other circumstances put upon you. There is also the piece of really being thoughtful about, yes, it's that language that you speak to yourself. We already mentioned the should, but it's, I want to be better, or negative self-talk. I'm no good at this. I'm not good at that. I don't. I can't. I won't. I blah, blah, blah. And taking time to define what you really value and really getting deep with how you feel about yourself, how you discover yourself, how you speak about yourself and your surroundings, how you view your life and your surroundings. Like there's so many pieces that play into it, and how you end up outwardly expressing yourself, and a lot of it starts with that internal self-talk. You have to think too, you wouldn't talk to your best friend, probably not even, sometimes your worst enemy, the way that you might speak to yourself sometimes, because we're tremendously hard on ourselves. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't think that everybody is this way for sure, but there's a lot of people out there that, man, we like to make things more difficult for ourselves than they need to be. And I am still like that. And it's maddening, like bending over backwards to make things easy for everybody except yourself. That's like, it's a bit mental, because if you love making things easy for other people, probably the best way is to start by making things easy for yourself. And it's going to start with a place of, it doesn't need to be full-on self-love and adoration, but what it does need to be is a place of self-respect and self-care. And if you can start with that kind of foundation, you're going to find that a lot of things start opening up. I would absolutely love to challenge you in catching yourself and thinking about the wording of how you are talking to yourself, how you describe your surroundings and describe life in the world. In general, we're always looking to feel better, to feel good, to feel love and joy and excitement. And if you can catch yourself saying and speaking in the way that isn't helpful, you can catch that, then it's really easy that you can start to correct it. If you can find even 5 of those a day, then you're ahead of the game. And reframe it in the moment. I shouldn't do that, because the big one often is, what would people think of me? What would people say? Maybe it could look more like, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't align with who I am. Or I am going to do that because it aligns with who I am. There's so many things that we can reframe that starts to actually have an instant positive impact on our life. So let me know, have you caught yourself speaking in a negative way to yourself, describing things in a way that just kind of takes away from the goodness? Drop me a comment, drop me a line, let me know. I'd love to hear more about it? And how have you been able to incorporate the good stuff? See you soon. Thanks so much for joining us on the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast. For more ways to connect, go to www.healthymetalhippie.com.